Healing tattoos. Any tattoo can be a part of the healing process, but not all of those tattoos are healing tattoos. So, when I talk about healing, being a healing tattoo artist, I'm not the only one in the world. There's lots of tattoo artists out there that are channeling the ancient and the sacred and the divine through our work. And some of us are called into that. And that's how I feel. That's how I relate to my experience in this field. Way before, well before, um, medical tattooing got so popular, which was kind of weird, but before quality started entering the field of restorative tattooing. And that was one of the things that I was kind of at the beginning of. So when I started doing areola tattooing, I was trained how to use a 4 centimeter disc with a 1 centimeter circle cut out of it to outline, to draw an outline, and then to tattoo an outline, and then outline the smaller circle, the 1 centimeter circle in the middle. And like, I'm telling you, all nipples are different. So that 4 centimeter doesn't work. There's no standard, there's just no rules when it comes to breast reconstruction. Now, I learned way more about this stuff when I faced my own breast reconstruction. That's when I really started realizing that I was being called to be a leader in this as well. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about not just only my journey into medical and restorative tattooing, but also the industry. Now that it's becoming, tattooing was a craft and then it was a trade, and now it's becoming an industry. And things are shifting, and they're shifting in a way that I don't feel comfortable with. So the shifts that I don't appreciate are 3-day trainings, beginners allowed to take areola training. So my belief on that is that, and I've always held true to this. This has always been my opinion about this. And I have, those people that make their money doing the 3-day trainings really don't like me saying this. So, but the thing is this is the hardest work that anybody's ever going to do as a tattoo artist. And so you need to take that seriously. This serious work, and it needs to be taken seriously, because I can also tell you from the side of having my own nipple tattoos botched by a nipple tattoo trainer, that there's a lot of people out there that are offering these courses that really don't know what they're doing themselves. They're not really proven in the field. And what does it take to be proven in the field? Well, one of the things is a lot of experience, not just a lot of years, because I think people talk about how long that they've been tattooing, and maybe they've been tattooing for 6 years on Saturdays, doing eyebrows. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of people that have come to take my training that only work on Saturdays in like a beauty salon. And from what I understand, I don't even think that tattooing can be in the same airspace, ventilation system, as cutting hair, because of the bacteria that can flow through the air if they're doing blowouts and styling and stuff, right? So there's the reason I'm all over the map with this is because there's so many little pieces to integrate. And I just really see the full picture because I've been tattooing since 1996, because I lost my own breast, because I got botched nipple tattoos, and then I lost my breast reconstruction. I have personal experience with aspects of this field that other people will never have. So my highest expression of love is to share these opinions, expert, professional, and personal opinions, with the rest of the field, as it's trying to move tattooing from this craft slash trade into an industry. Because once it's an industry, people want to invest and make money off of it. People want an ROI. People see the clients as ROI. Some of my past students see their own repeat clients as an ROI, as part of their business plan. And because I've had a mastectomy myself, and like I said, been harmed by poor quality nipple tattooing, and then lost my breast reconstruction and had permanently disfigured now, there's just a different aspect of this thing that I'm seeing, especially since starting tattooing in 1995. There wasn't very many women tattooing in the world, especially in Canada, where I'm from. And what we saw was a lot of changes. I was in like the first wave kind of art school educated tattooers that took custom tattooing to large scale. Before I got into it, like I used to hang around a tattoo shop in 1989. I started hanging around a tattoo shop. I was too young to be there, but there was no real age. So the guy, when he realized how serious I was about tattooing, he just decided not to try to kick me out. And he was very gracious with his time. He was really nice about it. And he would tell me like, oh, maybe try drawing this and maybe try drawing that. And so I had really nice mentorship from when I was young enough to still be impressionable. And those words still echo in my mind from way back then. And so I really want to carry those values forward into this industry that's being laid out before us around the tattooing world. What, 1 in 3 people are tattooed? There's 110 million tattooed people in the United States alone, and this is becoming a big thing. So once it becomes a big thing, then you start getting into, there's greed, and then there's I know I said earlier about the money, and I'm worried that that's coming, that some companies are going to be traded on the stock market, because then it's going to become more about meeting the pressure and the demands of the investors than supporting the tattoo artists with what they need to take great care of their clients, which is almost being left out of the conversation completely. And that's why I feel like my voice is important, which is also why my voice has been partially silenced with naysayers and people that are judgmental and people who've really just never been through a mastectomy themselves, never really had this kind of trauma, and they really just don't understand. If they're seeing this industry with dollar signs, then well, in my opinion, they're part of the problem, but they can't see it otherwise because it's their job. And so that's the danger of becoming an industry. So when we come back, when we circle back to my first sentence about healing tattoos, while tattoos can be a part of your healing journey, not all tattoos are healing. So what we have is people taking 3, 5, 6-day trainings who've never held a tattoo machine before and don't even have a tattoo. And what bothers me about people that are getting into this industry without tattoos, there's 2 things that bother me about it. One of them is they don't even know what it feels like or how to heal it. They don't even know the changes their body goes through. They haven't experienced having those conversations and reaching out to a tattoo artist and making their plan and their deposit and moving their schedule around, and that a tattoo was important enough for them to save up for and take a day out of their life to go and get and then have forever and talk about forever. It's part of who they are. Those people have no idea what being tattooed is all about. And I really think they should. Also, they really don't know how to advise you on that. Being non-tattoo, they really don't know how to give aftercare. Like if you're having an issue with your aftercare, they can't really speak from experience. They can't really speak from lived experience. And then the reason that those bothers me is because I start wondering, do they even like tattoos? They don't even have one? Do they even like tattoos? Why are they doing them? Because people who are really serious about tattoos usually have lots. There was one tattoo artist back in the day, Neil Gupta. I don't even know if he has any tattoos now or if he got some tattoos. He might have got some tattoos. But he was this technical artist who loved the challenge of the skin as a medium. But he was this technical expert and he blew us all away. He showed the rest of the industry things that we didn't know were possible about like really small scale tattooing. And because he contributed to the industry, we gave him a pass on not being tattooed. You know what I mean? Like he didn't get the judgment because he's really freaking talented and we had to honor that, right? Another thing that happens is people copy one another. And while I understand that that is going to be part of it, is they see new inventions as an industry norm, but what they're not seeing is the work that went into that, and what they're not doing is honoring the person who invented it. When it's such a small kind of community, you know who came up with what first, if you were there to see it. So for me, I invented a few things. And not only was I copied, which I knew would eventually happen, I figured it would take about 10 years. But what I didn't know would happen was the people that would that have copied me would also talk down on me so that customers would choose their product. They market it a little higher, and that's like their competitive edge. But never, ever, ever disrespect the person who has created a product as a solution to a problem. For me, there was a few problems that I saw going through my own mastectomy journey, my own medical trauma journey, that I invented solutions for. They didn't exist. And because I saw the need, because I was the one in the trauma, I was the one in need, I saw the need and I created the solution. And the worst thing that another person can do is talk down to that when they have no idea what it's like. And the people who do know what it's like would never talk down on somebody else who's been there, right? So just as we move from craft, trade, art form into industry, I want you guys, if you're getting tattooed, be really scrutinize the people that are giving you the tattoos and make sure that they can show you that they're artistic and they can show you healed results. And if you are a tattooist, prove that to your clients. They deserve it, and so do you. If you don't put in that extra effort, then that you're not really going to shine. But the beauty of putting in that extra effort is shining in the ways that those people need you to shine, shining in your own way. And now, if I circle back one more time to the aspect of healing tattoos, I'm going to talk about people that say they do healing tattoos, because a large group of these, and I have to bounce it back to my own experience because I have lived experience to support these opinions. The people who have caused me harm and trauma in my medical tattooing journey, my own mastectomy journey, are lying about their abilities to hold space or be trauma informed. They've taken my training, they've heard the words, they've heard the catchphrases, trauma informed, but they don't really know what it's like to have trauma. They don't know that it's okay to be sad. They don't know it's okay to be angry. They don't know that it's okay to come to terms with some aspects of your journey in the tattoo chair, because it opens up this whole new world to all of the things that you've been through. Because the tattooing is usually the cherry on top. It's usually the final step. It's usually the last piece. And if that person judges others for having emotions, and then you're in their chair and you have an emotion, are they judging you? Because that's not healing. Healing and holding space has to be able to hold space for everything that you agree with and everything you don't. I have no judgment for my clients. I have no pity for them either. There's an energy around pity that means that I feel sorry for you, which means that I feel in some way that my life is better than yours. Pity is even judgmental, and it can be masked as compassion if you're not careful. So we all love the way we want to be loved. So for me, I love talking to people that just shoot from the hip. They just tell me straight, here's what you're up against. Here's what's going on. Here's what can go wrong. Here's what's happening. So that's the way I communicate with the people that I work with, because I appreciate that kind of communication. And I don't really believe that it's genuine and authentic for me to communicate in a way that I'm like, oh, okay, because this isn't the part of the journey where, I mean, of course, I want my clients to feel comfortable. Comfort's the first thing that I do, but it goes without saying. Client care goes without saying. Comfort goes without saying, in my opinion. But I also want to hear that other side of like, okay, you have donor skin on this side and you don't on the other, and the change in that is going to be a lack of blood flow, which could lead to this pigment could change in this way, or it could change in this way, and walk you through what you have to expect, right? because I've been there myself. And it's just like I said, we love the way that we want to be loved. So try not to judge people for their anything, really, I guess. And then you can share that healing space. Then together you create a sacred space with no expectations, no judgments, no desired outcome. I mean, of course you want a good tattoo, and your tattooer is going to give you the best job that they know how to do. Of course, that goes without saying. But what is that tattoo artist built to do? What are they supported in doing? Especially if they've only taken a 3, 5, 6 day tattoo training. Because a tattoo apprenticeship, just getting through the basics takes 6 months. And tattooing scar tissue is way more challenging than tattooing healthy skin. So this isn't what I wanted to talk about exactly. I wanted to compare what I'm trying to build right now to the entire industry and take the piece of the puzzle that I am, the perfect piece that I fit into in this big picture, that nobody else is the same shape as me. Nobody else has the same skills and talents as I do. Everybody has their own strengths. Everybody brings a little bit something different to the table. I'm going to do another section to this. I'm not sure if this video is going to go over as well as I hope it was. So please, if you watch it all the way to the end, would you please write a little thing on the comment and just let me know a little bit more as I get more into the groove of talking about this stuff again, because I did have another trauma that I had to heal from that I'm not ready to talk about yet. So if there's things that you want to hear more of or less than, please put them in the comments, because I would like to give you my thoughts on the things that you want to hear about, rather than going to a million different little podcasts and videos and just not really being able to navigate through like the information that you need. Now I'm going to stop this video. This is going to be part 1, and I'm going to record a part 2. And I am going to tell you exactly how I work through my healing process that I offer to my clients, and why it's so unique and can't be copied. And I just hope to resonate with the people who resonate with my message, especially the tattoo artists out there that really want to improve their work, that really want to be able to draw like that quality of drawing, really want to be able to enter art contests like I have and win them like I have, and enter tattoo contests like I have and win them like I have, and maybe get published in magazines and maybe really shine in their field based on their unique offerings and based on their personal style. There's so many great styles out there. That's another great thing. So thank you for watching all the way to the end if you're still here. And I'm going to do another part and talk more about my version of healing tattoos, where this one was more about tattoos versus industry.